Well, I'm back down here at the D7. Just gonna go over everything that I've done in between this video and the previous one that I made. So resealed all this. It's got a new seal here. I reused the bearings. They're grease bearings. They can have a little bit of noise to them, and the grease will take up the slack and the noise. Got all new disc. These were kind of a chore to track down, but I got all new disc. My old ones ended up being, after measuring them, they were wore out. So all this is clean, degreased. I gotta knock this, just hit that with a wire wheel right quick, and that'll be fixed. But all the grease and all that stuff is gone. It's nice and clean. Brake band, it still has some life left. So I'm going to use it a little bit longer, and when it goes, it goes. It's not a very hard task to replace the brake band. And I was unable to find a replacement, so I'd have to carry this to brake lining shop and have them put new linings and all that stuff on there. But anyways, I got the drum in there. I did that like last week, I think, and just been real busy. I haven't been able to do it. But anyways, ended up having to put new bearings and races in here. I had a mark from, I had already put this outer race on, but it was too tight. So I pulled it back off, and I'm gonna put some more shims in there. And this right here, fixing to go new seal there. So I'm just gonna set you guys up, and probably gonna get as far as all I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna get this outer piece on, make sure this spins good after I'm done, put the clutch disc in there, put the band in there, put the adjusting mechanism and all that stuff. Basically have it to where I'm ready to run the cable or string the cable to the drum. We'll just see where I get to. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. It was just, I come down here and I put this together. I put this cap on, or this outer piece on. It's got a seal that keeps your dope and everything in there. So I did that last week, so no water or anything would get in there. So it just didn't work out. I thought they had too many shims in there, because when I pulled it apart, it was not tight at all. It had no resistance. But anyways, set you guys up. I don't even know where the best place to go would be. Let's see. I'll be right here on this trackpad. Have some lube for this O-ring. I was pressing this thing back apart, and it actually pulled the threads out of the outer piece for the, where you press it off for the pusher holes. I had to clean that off right quick.
Got a little tight for a fit here. So tight around the camera, I reckon. the hole is off a little bit, I believe. And this is not even to the O-ring yet, so no need to worry about that. This is just getting down in the drum. I was supposed to be in Mexico this week, but my girlfriend caught COVID, so of course that didn't pan out. So, oh well, that's what insurance is for. Not a big deal. Still gonna go. Last time when I pulled too many shims out, I left the O-ring off this cover and ran it down in there just till I felt a little resistance in here. And then I pretty much brought some feeler gauges and I made my shims just a little bit thicker than that. And when I ended up bolting it down, it was still spinning, it was just too tight. I really don't know. I'm not exactly sure. I don't have a manual. I have a parts manual. I don't have a repair manual for this. So I'm just kind of doing this by feel. Not really doing with gauges or anything like that, but I can tell you that right there is going to be about perfect. Last time it was not anywhere near that. It was a lot tighter than that. So these are 3/8 bolts, so that's worth 35 foot-pounds. Just a little bit more. Which I'm pretty sure I pretty much just probably went a little past that. But we're not talking anyway. That's what I bought it for. I think what I had to do, what did I do last time? I think I put this thing in there. Check everything here. Definitely want to torque this. It's kind of a lot of work to get back down to this to set all this up. So. Okay. And that's not what you want. You want a light drag on it. And I did load the bearings, so they didn't have oil. Alright. Put the sealing surface off here. Put this little starting thing. Oil some leak down. So, I'm going to go ahead and put this, I don't know what you call this. Put it on this. Put this on there so it's easier to line all the disc up. Just slips right there. My hand's pretty greasy, so I'm putting grease on this disc. We'll go right on together with this thing. There's my disc over here. I can't remember, I think the friction goes first, because I've got 7 and 6, so yeah. This is going to be a 6, yep, 6. This is 1. It doesn't matter which way they go, as far as flipping around, but that's got to go first. We'll have to clean these, I think I'll have to clean these seals off. Put a light lubricant on them to keep them from rusting. Which is pretty smart. It should go. The right part, I just will. It looks lined up. There we go. I got a little wear right here in these splines. Yeah, it's just got a little wear right here at the edge of these splines from just years of abuse. This thing now should be working good once I get it all put back together. Shouldn't have to worry about this thing for many years to come. that's why I went ahead and spent the extra money on the bearings and spent the extra money on the disc. Because I'm going to be the one using this, and we're about to have 25 acres of timber cleared, and I know that's going to, I've already been there, done that, I know what that entails, so. Pulp loaders just come in and make a damn mess, and then you're left to clean it up. They come in and get what they want, that's it. I don't care about you. And it could be the fact that basically the only places I can find these are Chinese, I guess, or aftermarket. I just assume they're Chinese. So everything, the patent I'm sure ran out on these 25 years ago, and these, no telling how old these are. And they're still, it could have been off just a little bit. It is what it is. That was a little better.
I'm ready to get this thing running because I need to fire up my other D7 right here beside it. That thing hasn't been fired up in 6 months. I don't need it to freeze up again. Possibly, here's the cows coming to check me out. Possibly have the lead on a D8. I don't know if it's a H or a K. The guy didn't know. The engine's out of it. But they're looking to get rid of it, so if it'll be, it'll be. If not, it is what it is. It wasn't meant to be. But I would like to have one. It's a hydraulic blade too, so. Regardless if it's an H or a K, I still want it. I'd much rather have an H. They're older like these, and I like them a lot better. I don't know why. They just sound different to me. It's more the old school technology that, you know, as the years went by, they come out with better technology and went to the spacer plate and went to mufflers and all that stuff. I like the H's. They're just more simpler. They got the on a K, the pedals come out of the console, and you can steer with the levers as well as the pedals. But on the H, it's just like this one right here. Your levers are only a clutch, and then your brakes coming out of the floor, which is a lot simpler. And from what I understand, they had less problems. So that's really the one that I want. And there's really not a real. If you get a late model H versus a later model K, you're not down that much horsepower. So that's the one that, to me, I don't know, I could be wrong, but that's the one to me that anybody would want, is a late model H. Well, I guess this day and age nobody really wants that stuff because it doesn't have AC. Alright, let's see. Put this outer cover on. I don't think I'm overstepping myself here. Don't think I am. Alright, I made it back with my parts book, and this piece here, I don't know how well this will show up, but it goes before the adjuster, or right there, I'm sorry, goes right there behind the bearing, so that means that I have to pull this piece back off, and it sits in there like that. So let's pull this off right quick. It shows this piece going on here just like this. This will go back on. These shims should fit inside of there. Should be the distance. And it appears that it is. Let me get my new bolts. I did leave them up there. New bolts. I'll take the shims, put them on there. This is going to be a 3/4, and it is. I think when you take this is going to be stationary, something like that, I believe. The lock's over, so the bolt can't back out. And they actually fell pretty close to where they really need to be. Alright, well that's good. I'll just throw this outer cover on. A new O-ring for it as well. I don't know how much battery I have left. Not very much, so I'll just record until the battery goes dead. Alright, I'm back down here at the D7. I'm going to try and finish it up right quick. The only thing I've done since the last video is I installed this piece here. I painted it. Don't know why, I was just in the mood to paint something, so I painted it. Got it put on there. Tighten the spring back up. Got this set in here. I'm about to put this outer cover in, or on. And then I'm going to hook my linkage up and try to get my brake adjusted. And then after that, it's just a matter of stringing the cable And I do need to change the dope in it. I almost forgot to change the gear oil in it. It's just 80/90, I believe. That's what's going in it anyway. I don't know what it takes, but that's what's going in it. Set you up right here. Double check these bolts here. They look tight, but I can't remember. I have lock nuts, or lock washers anyway. Alright. A long time coming. See if I can get this cover back on there. About need a weed eater to go get around this thing. Ooh, this thing's hot. Missing a couple bolts, but I think I'm put them in later. I don't know where they got off to. This thing's only been apart for, 3 months. a little something I do. I don't know if it's correct or not, but when you got a hole facing like this, always put the bolt in like that. The other one. Always put the bolt facing down. That way if the nut were to fall off, the bolt would still remain in there, in theory. Not saying it would work 100%, but instead of just losing the nut and the bolt, you would just lose the nut. That's just something I do. It may not be right. Gotta find that. So there's a dot right here, and it's supposed to line up with the dot on this arm here. And you have to adjust your brake band. It takes a little while. Probably should have got it a little closer before I put this cover on. And there's an adjustment here as well. See if I can get it open up. It wasn't tight. I ain't got a pair of pliers down here. All right, so finishing touches on the D7 here. Change the oil in the gearbox or in the winch. There's like a gallon or two of water in the bottom. Don't know how that got there, but anyways, it's out. I'm gonna run it for a couple hours and drain it and flush it again and see what happens from there. I don't think it hurt anything. This stuff's old. The tolerances are a little bit bigger, so it's not really too big of a deal. But anyways, I was going to give it a shot here on adjusting the cable control unit. I'm going to try to start it. I tried to start it a few minutes ago, and the batteries were down a little bit. It's been like I say, it's been 3 months, maybe 4 months since this thing has ran. So we'll give it I'm not going to preheat it. It's like 85 degrees today, so see what happens here. Oh, maybe I should preheat it a little bit. Need to get it running, build the batteries up a little bit on it. Don't look like it's gonna do it. Damn. Well, I'll be back. Alright, I got my makeshift start all. Got two 4D batteries. Got some heavy gauge jumper cables hooked directly to the starter. See if we can't get it going now. If it don't start now, it's not good. And I can't get the tripod to come out.
Alright, so I got my cable hooked up to my mule here. I've got the parking brake slightly on. You want to pull this cable up with some type of tension, and this is all I've got at the moment, and no, I don't want anybody to hold it. It's hooked around my ball. I'm in control here. I can shut my engine off right away if something's not going right. So I'm just gonna do this. It's just me, nobody else is here, so this might work and it might not, I don't know. So I'm pretty happy with that. The only thing I need to do is I need to tighten up on the brake a little bit, which is really no big deal. Just reach in there with a 3/4 wrench, if I can find my wrench. You go through this hole right here. It's kind of a little difficult to get into now. Let's see where my dot's at. Yeah, so it actually, after adjusting that, it needed to come in just a little bit. And then there's a nut on the bottom of the band. I need to get it as well. It's about froze up, so I don't know what I'll be doing about that. And see, I don't know if you can see this little dot. It's supposed to line up. It's supposed to line up with that dot, but this thing has rolled a little bit at some point. So we'll just line it up with a grease fitting. And that feels pretty good there. So I'm gonna leave it alone right there and run it around, see what it feels like.